Camera rolling, digital documentary internship, scene 1, take 1, action.
We are so delighted to have 12 young filmmakers here with us this week at the Pare Lorentz Intern Film Camp.
Hi, I'm Naj Villa.
My name is D'Anthony Keith.
Hi, I'm Anna Pragman.
My name is Arturo Morelli.
Hi, my name is Emily Downs.
Matt Stransky.
Jordan Devereaux.
Roberto Morelli.
Hi, my name is Viviana Gonzalez.
I'm Akil Rose.
These young people are using B-roll footage from our archives to create documentary films of topics that they've selected from the Roosevelt era.
We're making a documentary on how FDR's inspirations turned him into the man he became.
Our documentary is about Eleanor Roosevelt, the First Lady.
Basically about beyond the presidency.
We're making a documentary on the Presidential Library.
Our documentary is about how FDR became a leader to the nation during World War II.
So far this week we've had a couple of important speakers in. There was Paul Barnes, who is a producer for Ken Burns, who just did the Roosevelt documentary last fall.
If you have nothing, then you have to use your imagination more about how can I make something out of nothing.
We've had Herman Eberhard, who is our museum curator. He talked to the students about how the films in the museum were put together.
When we're crafting the overall narrative for the exhibit, trying to figure out the story we want to tell, we're thinking, okay, what parts of the story could be told with film?
We're also having Paul Sparrow, who was the Senior Vice President for Broadcasting and New Media at the museum in Washington, D.C. He's going to talk to the students about journalism and how that comes into play in terms of documentaries.
There's a rule in television. We used to say, tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them.
And then we also have Seth Kramer, who's an independent filmmaker who is going to talk to the students about making a living as a filmmaker.
You can't be boring for a second. Don't think because you're making a documentary that you can afford to be boring. You can't be boring. If something's boring, you get rid of it.
I'm most worried that our documentary won't flow as well.
Using editing techniques to make it flow is the strategy we're trying to employ.
Kind of worried about actually editing.
I'm not really good at the technology stuff, so I'm afraid that I'm gonna screw something up.
I've never done a script before.
You can't even fall behind schedule for a second because we don't have a second.
Tennessee and Mississippi, Georgia and Alabama. Power to make a new Tennessee Valley for a new generation. Power enough to make the river work.
It's not so much about looking at ideas differently, but about looking at the world around you differently, and that gives you different perspectives on life in the process that you didn't expect. That was a cool thing I learned from Pare Lorentz documentaries.
He was FDR's filmmaker.
Seemed like he filmed things that people didn't really want to talk about.
His documentaries are poetry, really.
And I get to soak up all this information about him and who he was and get immersed in that, while at the same time I get to make films.
I like learning, like interactive learning, and I like meeting new people. So just it kind of all works together to make it great for me, I guess.
For the beginning of this program, I was a little nervous about meeting new people and working with new people that I didn't know, but then I guess during the whole thing, I got to know more people.
We're so happy to be working with our partners, Spark Media in Poughkeepsie, through this grant from the New York Community Trust. And at the end of the 2-week sessions that the young filmmakers are experiencing right now, we're going to show their work to a general public audience. We're going to highlight the work that they've done over the course of the 2 weeks, and there'll be some other films shown there as well. So it'll be a small little mini documentary film festival right here in Poughkeepsie, made from student work that was done right here with the Roosevelt Presidential Library and Spark Media.
I, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. The only thing we have to fear is fear
the bell.